Today we're tackling a big question. Which diet actually works? Keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, Mediterranean, the list goes on. But here's the thing that most people really don't realize. Nearly every diet out there is built on the same five basic principles. Strip away the branding and rules, and they look surprisingly similar. So today we're going to walk through those five principles, talk about why they matter, and then dig into the bigger question. If they're all so similar, why do we feel like we need a specific diet in the first place? And spoiler alert, it's usually less about the food and more about the mindset, accountability, and finding something that's sustainable. Hi, I'm Dr. Jamie Kriskowski, holistic health coach, nutritionist, and certified mental wellness coach. And I don't just coach, I help women over 40 reclaim their God-given vitality. I combine faith, functional science, and fierce strategy to help you balance hormones, burn stubborn fat, boost energy, and finally feel like yourself again, without compromising your values or your sanity. So, principle number one is eating whole food and food that's minimally processed. Now, every plan that tells you to eat more foods as close to their natural state as possible, and that's a good thing, right? So, think about fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, nuts, seeds, whole grains, all of those great things. Whole foods are nutrient dense, and that means that they give us vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber without any additives or preservatives that will drain our energy and fuel inflammation. Also, those additives and preservatives, if our body doesn't know what to do with it, it might store it in our fat. Now, research has consistently shown that whole food based diets support gut health, balance blood sugar, and even reduce chronic disease risk. Harvard researchers found that adults who adopt habits like eating nutrient rich foods, exercising regularly, and avoiding harmful substances, well, that they can actually add a decade or more of healthy, disease free life. And that's huge. Principle number two. Principle number two. Balance your macronutrients. Now, every diet will tweak the ratios, but your body needs a mix of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And protein, muscle and supports metabolism. Healthy fats will fuel hormones and brain health. Carbs, especially the whole food carbs, give us steady energy and really provide a lot of fiber for us. And the balance might look different for each person, but the principle remains the same, that if we cut out a whole macronutrient long term, then we set ourselves up for nutrient gaps and for burnout. So be careful of that, because if there's just something, if we think about a diet and it's just something that, oh, I'm going to do this for the next 6 weeks, the next 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, then that's not a lifestyle change that we're trying to make. It's more of that short-term sort of quick fix that we're looking for. Principle number three is portion control and energy intake. So, whether it's calorie counting or portion sizes or mindful eating, every plan has a way of keeping our overeating in check. And it really makes sense, right? Because too much food, even if it's healthy food, can throw off digestion and lead to weight gain. And I will say, though, as a nutritionist, we typically don't overeat the good food. It's typically the bad food that we're overeating, right? I'm sitting down and eating too many fruits and vegetables, and compared to if they sat down and maybe eat a bag of chips on their lap or something like that, right? We're definitely more likely to overeat the non-whole foods. And so, undereat is also a bad thing. And that's something to really think about, is that sometimes there's so much calorie restriction that we do our bodies a disservice, and it can really be dangerous, especially if someone is a diabetic or just depending on your health overall and the mineral intake that you have. If we slash calories too far, then we're more likely to lose muscle mass, potentially have a medical sort of incident, and metabolism is going to slow down, and then our energy really can crash. And so we definitely want to be careful with that. Again, that's why focusing on lifestyle, not crash diets, is really going to be key. Quick weight loss will often sacrifice muscle and set us up for rebound weight gain. And then sometimes too, we are actually losing water in that process, and because we might become dehydrated. And so we feel like we've lost a few pounds, but it's really more about water loss that we have. Principle number four. Limit added sugars and refined carbs. Now, this is going to be almost universal for different diets. Too much sugar spikes our blood sugar. It raises our cortisol. That's a stress hormone that makes us hang on to fat. It drives our cravings and it can really leave us drained. Now, think about refined carbohydrates, things like pastries, soda pop, white bread. They don't offer a lot of nutrition, but they put us on a blood sugar roller coaster. And so, if we swap these out for fiber-rich foods like veggies, beans, whole grains, it can really give us steady energy and better hormone balance. The fifth common principle is staying hydrated. Every plan emphasizes hydration, and a plan really should. Water supports digestion, hormone balance, and brain function and metabolism. Even mild dehydration, even just 2% of our body weight, can increase our fatigue, impair our focus, and according to studies, it can cause a whole host of other signs and symptoms that we might have. So sometimes we think that we're hungry when really we're thirsty. So the next time you're feeling a little bit of an energy crash, or maybe you feel like, oh, I think I need to eat something, drink 6 to 8 ounces of water and see how you feel within about 10 or 15 minutes, because that might just be the thing that your body needed. And so, yes, something as simple as drinking water can really be a powerful step for us. A bonus principle that we have is sustainability. At the end of the day, the best diet isn't the trendiest. It's the one that you can actually stick with. If you hate what you're eating or you feel deprived, then it won't last. If all of your foods are boxed and or prepackaged and you're adding water and tossing them in the microwave and there's a lot of preservatives or other things in those, is that sustainable? Some can be really expensive, and there can be more of that struggle of getting all of the nutrients that you really need. And this is where we really have to think about the research on behavior and mindset, because this becomes really important. What is our relationship with food? Time Magazine, they recently summarized some research calling behavior change a miracle drug because of the lifestyle shifts like sleep, stress management, and social connection, and nutrition that can have a bigger impact on us than medications. The bigger question for us here is, if all diets are pretty much the same, have the same foundations, then why do we keep hopping from diet to diet? Is it the accountability piece, the meal plans that take out the guesswork? Or maybe it's just that we haven't figured out how to make the principles sustainable in our real lives. The U.S. Surgeon General's advisory on social connection showed that community is a huge factor. When we have a strong social support, it's linked to 17% higher survival rate and 29% increase in self-reported good health. So that means that when we have support and accountability, whether through family, friends, or a faith-based wellness group, you're much more likely to stick with your healthy habits long term. Now, a couple of things in thinking about quick fixes. Feel good at first. The fast weight loss maybe feels motivating, but if it's coming from extreme calorie cuts, over exercising, or eliminating whole food groups, then you're probably losing muscle, especially if you're cutting down on your protein intake. And you could really be tanking your energy and stressing your hormones. That sets us up for weight regain, and often even more than we lost. So let's just say someone loses 40 pounds, but because of the crash dieting, they lost a lot of muscle mass. When they go off of the diet and maybe return to many of their other habits, what can happen is they might end up regaining the 40 pounds plus another 10 or 20 pounds. And I know some of you watching this may be saying, yes, that has happened to me. And a lot of times that is because we lose muscle with that crash dieting. And that is not going to be healthy. That's going to be a cycle of frustration and hard work that really can be something over time that can be very, very discouraging. So what should our path forward look like? What works is building these principles into your life in a way that fits you. That's where transformation happens. When healthy choices become habits, not rules that you dread following, when we're not doing extreme calorie cutting, then it's going to be more sustainable. So the next time that you're tempted by the next diet trend, just remember that the foundation is the same. What matters most is the sustainability, the mindset, and the support. And don't forget about that relationship with food. Are we running to food when maybe we should be running to God and asking God for the right answer or the support or God, give me strength, whatever it might be? Do we need to stop and recognize what am I thinking right now? Why did I just grab this bag of chips, this loaf of bread, this whatever it might be? Usually, when someone is eating food to soothe themselves, it's because carbohydrates help us to release serotonin, and that gives us that feel good sort of feeling within us. And so, again, being mindful of that can really be something that can be helpful. Now, a little bit of encouragement here. Stop chasing diets. Start building a lifestyle that you can love. And together with community and consistency, we can really break the cycle and thrive. Now, if this resonated with you, please drop a comment below. Which principle are you focusing on right now? Maybe you could let us know what you're struggling with or the ones that are the easiest for you, whatever it is. If you want more support and to build faith-based sustainable habits that last, then subscribe here and check out my other videos because true health isn't just about losing weight. It's about gaining energy, balance, and vitality for the life that God really designed you to live. And I also have other resources. Check out my website, drkayswellness.com, where I have a mindful eating guide, as well as a quick and healthy meal prep guide, perimenopause support, among many other things. Check out the links in the description for this video. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with someone that you think could benefit from this information.